thanks for joining me again. My name's Crystal Star and I'm the founder of the Star Lightwork Circle. And if you want to know more about the Star Lightwork Circle or more about Lightwork or more about me, go along to my website. It's starlightworkcircle.com. I nearly forgot then. I've got a bit blank because I don't like doing live. Anyway, so let's get on with it. We're talking today about light workers and empaths again. I covered this a little bit in my previous live stream here, but in this live stream I want to be looking at more into how you identify if you're an empath or a light worker, and also some little tips I want to give to help you along the way if you're struggling with being an empath or a light worker at all. Now, the Star Lightwork Circle isn't just for light workers and empaths. It's for anybody who's got an interest in light work at all. But I do tend to have a lot of light workers that are clients. I do tend to have a lot of clients that are light workers and empaths. So I do want to look at it. I'm not going to create a bundle about light workers and empaths because most of the bundles that I create are quite helpful anyway. So I thought I'd do this in a live stream here. The next few bundles that I'm creating are going to be, I've already done the tarot. The next bundle I'm doing is beginner's meditation. Then I'm going to be looking at intuition and psychic development. And then I'm going to be looking at protection and clearing of your energy as well. And that's going to come up later on, which is why I brought it up now. I've got my script. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to keep referring to my script here because else I'll forget what I'm going to say. Right. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is what are empaths and how do you know that you're an empath? Well, in light work terms, in energy terms, empaths are people who are very sensitive to the energy around them. I'll have a look at some of the signs as well. It can, if you're not aware of why it's happening or how to manage it, being an empath can feel sometimes like a punishment, but it's not. It really truly is a great gift. And that's why I want to have a look at it here, because there are some ways that you can use this to your advantage. I've got my little list here of 10 signs you can tell you're an empath. So the first one is sometimes you can feel overwhelmed for no apparent reason. You can feel lots of different emotions for no apparent reason at all. The next one is small things can deeply upset you more than you would find with other people. The next one is number 3 is you can struggle around low vibrational people. For example, if you're around people who are very angry or very negative, it can often feel like a real struggle. Number 4 is your kindness is often mistaken for weakness. Empaths do tend to be very, very kind people, and often people can mistake that and try and take advantage, and we'll look at that later on, because sometimes people can take advantage of that kindness as well. You need solitude. You need time for yourself. You need time and space for yourself, and often empaths can forget to do this and not provide that for themselves, not ensure that they get time and space for themselves. And if you don't do that, you can often feel very tired and stressed and drained as well. You are often one of the first people to notice when other people are stressed or upset, and you are often the one that people go to and tell all their problems to as well. Sign number 7 is you can often feel a lot better if you avoid any negative input. When we don't watch the news, when we don't watch horror films, it can help and we can feel a lot better. Number 8, these issues can sometimes impact your ability to interact socially. For example, you might struggle to hold down a job. You might find that your friends change very often. Number 9, you struggle to wind down and you worry about what others think because you're very in touch with what others people are thinking and feeling. That can often impact where you are as well. And you love animals and you love being around animals and you find great comfort from being with animals. So that's the 10 signs you're an empath. Obviously, all people are different, all empaths are different. So you might find that you feel you're an empath, but you don't have all of those things, or they may appear differently in you. But roughly, generally, those are the signs, 10 signs that you're an empath. Right, what is a light worker and what does that look like? Well, light workers are people who have been, I don't want to say sent, because we don't get sent back to Earth. Light workers are people who are here on Earth to help raise the vibration of the planet as a whole at this particular point in time. It's a bit more difficult to identify light workers because each light worker is so very, very different. However, most light workers are empaths as well, in my experience. It doesn't mean that you are, but most in my experience. Right, so we've got the top 10 most common traits of a light worker. Often disinterested or bored with the things that other people seem to care so much about, like having things and being better than other people. That can be incredibly boring and tedious to us light workers, and we don't like getting involved with such stuff. Generally, light workers will have a global mission, and obviously that global mission will look different, very, very different to each individual light worker. But most light workers will have some kind of mission that they set their eyes on and they work towards. Light workers are often fascinated with spiritual and energetic aspects. So most likely you become fascinated with one of the areas of light work that I'll be talking about in my bundles, no doubt. Light workers usually have to learn when it's helpful to help people and when it's not helpful to help people as well. I think this goes back to the empath as well. Our kindness is often seen as weakness and can be taken advantage of. Once again, the same for the empath. You feel happier when you have time on your own. Excuse me. When you have time on your own. Time for contemplation, a little bit of space for yoga, walk in the countryside, but I'll get onto that shortly as well. Once again, the same as the empath, you can pick up when other people are anxious or upset around you. Same as with the empath as well. You feel better when you don't get involved when you're not watching the news or when you're not getting involved in drama. With the light workers as well, very often we can just not align with the energy of the people around us, and it can often leave light workers feeling very isolated, or that we just don't fit in, or that we're just a loner. Light workers are usually attuned in on some level of energy. For example, it may be that you are very intuitive or psychic, even if you're not aware of it. It may be that you are you have natural energetic healing abilities, or some other kind of a natural ability. And you are never happier than when you are connected in with like-minded people as well. That's number 10. So that is my most common traits, top 10 most common traits of a light worker. Not top 10, but 10. Now, as I said at the very beginning, having these sensitivities can sometimes feel like a bit of a punishment, and of course it's not. It is a great gift, being sensitive to the energy around you, and also having a particular mission here on earth. It is a great gift, but sometimes if we're not aware of why we're like this, or how to manage that and direct that in a positive direction, it can feel like a real struggle. And I do really want to end here on some suggestions of how to manage that. Now, my tips to cope and survive as a light worker. Now, it all comes down to 3: protecting your energy, cleansing your energy, and recharging your energy as well, because it's all about the energy. Now, I think I said in the last live stream, so I know some people are against energy protection because they feel it shuts down all the interaction, so it ends the sensitivity to the energy around you. But if it's done properly, it's not like that at all. It's about managing the energy that's coming in and stopping the energy that you don't want coming in. But there's the cleansing and the recharging of energy as well. Now, I'm not going to go into these in huge detail because I cover protection and clearing certainly in their own separate bundles, and there will be YouTube videos on that as well. But I will give you some suggestions here of what I would suggest can help. Daily spiritual practices is my number 1, and that might not look how you think it would look. For example, to strengthen and recharge your energy and even cleanse your energy, we could be looking at yoga. Exercise can help as well. Reading or watching spiritual books or videos, even for a short period every day, can help. Walks in the countryside can help charge your energy. Spending time with pets can help charge your energy as well. Journaling can help with clearing as well. If you have to find what suits you best, but there's some ideas to help to recharge, strengthen, cleanse and recharge your energy. A big one for empaths and light workers is energy exchange. Now, the first time I read this, it was used with a grape and a raisin. If you can see auras, if you put a grape next to a raisin, and I've never actually done this, but I've been told it's true, and I see it with people all the time, you'll see the energy transferring from the higher vibrational object or person or thing to the lower vibrational object or person or thing. You can see the energy being transferred from the grape to the raisin. And it's the same with people as well. If we're a very high energy person, which is a good thing, isn't it, we can often lose energy to the people around us. And recognizing that helps it easier to control. Obviously, if we're strengthening our aura and we're replenishing our energy regularly, it won't take such a toll. But there are specific things as well we can do to focus in on that. For example, cord cutting. I'll probably cover this in a bundle on its own anyway, but regular cord cutting can help reduce the amount of energy that we lose to other people. Now, people obviously can steal your energy without knowing about it. Obviously, some people do things to trigger you into situations where you'll lose energy as well. And narcissists are one of those types of people who generally have tools to trigger you into emotional responses where you will lose energy to them. For example, they'll cause a row with you, and once of course you're in a row, you can lose energy very quickly, because any exchange between two people, energy is being exchanged. So if someone is shouting at you or trying to dominate you, you will lose energy to them. Basic protection can sort that out, and like I said, I'll be doing a video on that. There's too much to talk about in this little space here. It's also helpful to know when it's a good idea to help people and when it's a good idea not to help people. As empaths and as light workers, we always want to jump in and help people, but sometimes helping people is not helping people. It's the exact opposite, in fact. Sometimes it's best to recognize it's a good idea not to jump in the pit with people. Sometimes if you jump in the pit with people, you're going to be stuck down there with them. Go and get help and strengthen yourself, and then you can help other people. It's also a good idea to understand that you are not going to align with everybody. You are just not going to energetically get on with everybody, and that's a good thing, and that's okay. Also, it's a good idea to understand that you're not alone. There are lots of empaths out there, and there are lots of light workers, and there are places where you will be understood and you will fit in. It might not seem like that sometimes, but there really is. The last piece of advice I'd like to give is don't slip into victim mode. It can often feel very overwhelming, and we can perhaps start to feel sorry for ourselves, but try not to slip into that victim mode, and obviously go back to the daily practices I suggested at the very beginning to recharge your energy. Now, like I said, I'm going to be doing videos about energy protection and energy cleansing, so watch out for those as well. You may find those helpful if you are struggling with being an empath or being a light worker. And if you would like to join me on social media, you can go along. If you go along to my website, starlightworkcircle.com, and you will find on there all the links to social media. That's another thing that empaths and light workers can do. They can space out sometimes too, so sorry about that. Right, in my next live stream in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be looking at how to manifest in difficult times, and also the link between spirituality and manifesting physically. So I hope you come back and join me in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for watching. Bye.